You got to try it, Harry. I feel like I've been moving at it. Like and subscribe. Needed a little taste of the little frozen margarita. Put a little hair on your nipples. Like and subscribe. Foolish Club Media.
Do you have a gallon of frozen margarita?
You know where that is, don't you? You know what it is? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Still got it left from Friday.
Wow, buddy. Wow, my guy.
Yep. LTFO, if you'd like to be a part of this, please, we have plenty of sponsorship opportunities for you. As we just gave you a little free action. But like and subscribe. Please go to Foolish Club Media. If you did not do so, I hope somebody low blows you in the next week. Yeah, and even you ladies too. Even you, right in the ovaries. Ovaries, nuts, I don't care. I mean, deep ovary shot. I hope.
I mean, ovaries are just outdoor nuts. Or no, nuts are just outdoor ovaries. There we go.
Yep. And I hope somebody gets in there and pumps and run on YouTube. So like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media, and do your thing. We appreciate you rocking with us. There's a lot to get to here for me, or at least a lot of places I could go to. I got a two America situation happening at work that I would really like to discuss at some point. We've got the NBA playoffs here as Steph Curry looks like he is so angry having to sit on the bench that he wants to just fight everybody. He looks like Osita, stop this. He looks like a person that is a bearer to be around with. Like his wife is not enjoying being around this son of a bitch at this point. Like if you just watch Steph on the bench, he's just over there just like this.
Just got a mean mug on.
Yeah, man, he just over there just mad. He said it earlier today. He said he's in his feelings right now about this injury and him being out.
I get it, because he probably is like, playoffs are wide open. We could go on a run. I could put it all together, but problem is he's got bad hamstrings because he's 37 years old. Like, stop having bad hamstrings and being.
I just want to put this out, and I know that means nothing. This means nothing to Serda. This is actually the first time in his entire life he's ever had any issues with a hamstring. like not kidding you. Like, honest to God, it's the first time he's never strained a hamstring in his life.
Well, Ron, I mean, you would know best out of any of us here that once you get older, things start to kind of fall apart. It doesn't work the same way that it used to. So it's not surprising that he pulled a hamstring. It just that's what happens when you age, and all about that.
Yeah, and obviously hair falling out like yours did and hamstrings are completely different things. So I mean, those are completely different things about falling out. I'm just saying.
Hey, I can change my hair situation anytime I want. I just got to go to Turkey. Once I go to Turkey, I'm coming back with a full fro, baby.
Yeah,
full fro. I'm gonna use that pick. I'm gonna use this pick. Just I'm
gonna be honest with you. Being the fact that you can't shake loose of your manager at your job, and I know how much you make here. I don't believe you can afford the trip to Turkey, let alone the cost of what that will cost. So,
it's the perfect time for El Tiempo to give us a little sponsorship so your boy can get some hair.
I will add to all of that while you're just jumping to conclusions about our friend Osita.
Thank you.
Not drinking alcohol, save a shitload of money.
Look at that.
Of money.
Look at all that water.
Several months, I was astounded by I'm talking like thousands of dollars that I saved.
Water.
That's a very nice story, Serda. I am on the trampoline jumping to this conclusion. That he does not have Turkey and the cost of what it would take to get this hair. So I beg to differ, sir. You cannot go and change your hair situation anytime you want, at least by way of Turkey. Now, maybe you can go get a toupee of some sorts. I don't know. But you can't just change your hair situation like you talking about. Want to know
Hey,
how I know?
maybe I'll win big on FanDuel or something like that. Who should also sponsor us? FanDuel. And I'll
You're
strike
on
it
to
big.
something with that one.
I'll strike it big.
We're a
I'll strike.
DraftKings network.
No,
You
we're
are
a DraftKings network. Sorry,
Yeah, I was gonna
my
say,
bad. Ooh,
still out there.
I didn't know
You
that.
just
Shit.
you're just not seeing.
No,
You just not.
no one told me.
You're
Okay,
just seeing.
we don't they don't want to watermark us or anything, but I am doing reads for them right now that you can hear in our commercial breaks.
Yeah. You just ain't seeing a lot of that FanDuel. All right, no. Hey, by the way, as you said, man, he's got that hamstring, and he's just got to, they had a chance to make a run, but they got their asses ran right up out of Minnesota, 117-93 tonight, and it did not look the same way that it did the last time. Hell, by the way, Anthony Edwards, he got hurt. I thought they was about to have both the team's best players be up out of here as he was grabbing his ankle, but he actually came back, played in the second half, and actually had a decent second half. So Minnesota ties up that series 1-1, and they'll head back to Golden State. By the way, Steph's out for at least a week. And, I imagine this is going to be a difficult thing for him for all the running he does, never having this injury before. I think this is going to be problematic. But I will say this. I think what a lot of people are saying right now, and I think it's real, it's crazy. We've heard since we've been doing this show together, hell, when we were doing practice shows before anybody else saw any of this, the narrative of the NBA has swung, right? The narrative we heard about, hey, this Four Nations thing, this is amazing. Hockey is bad. Look at hockey. I'd rather watch hockey. Ain't none of y'all ass watching this damn hockey over this NBA right now, and you know it. But now everybody seems to be really enjoying the NBA playoffs. And the games are good. Right? Besides this ass kicking tonight and then whatever happened last night in Oklahoma City.
And then whatever happened with the Celtics.
Yeah, but that was
going
fun. That was a
for 60.
25 for 100.
Whatever happened with the Lakers against the Timberwolves.
But these have been, Osita, though, compelling games, right? Not that now Oklahoma City and Minnesota just beat the hell out of these other teams. But the Rockets series against the Warriors were compelling games. The Lakers and T-Wolves series, they came down to the end of it. The Lakers just couldn't play in the fourth quarter. It was compelling, and the games have been good, right? So many times the NBA intrigue, and you guys probably both know this, is more of drama. And not drama of, oh, man, it's 2 minutes left and the game is tight. No, drama of, yo, who is Draymond going to fight tonight? Drama of, does Kevin Garnett or Kevin Durant really hate his teammates? Drama of, hey, Nico Harris is saying Luka smokes too many cigarettes and drinks too many beers. I think you two, and many people probably listening, but you two in particular are perfect for the conversation I want to have. And that is this. You two are, I'd say, casual basketball fans at best.
Die Hard Rockets till the day I die.
That just started a couple years ago. Yeah, just started a couple of years ago. Steve, thank you for being honest about things. It's a casual fan. Do good games, is that enough to bring you to watching the NBA? Or are you in need of some sort of something extra to get you there as opposed to good games? Because Serda all day, good football games will get Serda in. There could be the best played baseball game in the world. Serda's not in, right? But does good basketball games bring you in, or do you need more of the drama, more of the tension, something going on just outside of the court that reels you in, that brings you in, or does neither? I think we're getting good play right now, and I'm wondering, is this enough to get the the viewers, the popularity of the game back up.
And I do really like the NBA. Like I simply just don't have enough time to really follow it during the regular season. And then like I keep tabs on the playoffs, and like right now, like I've got the game on in the background, or I had that Warriors Timberwolves game on in the background, and like was just kind of keeping an eye on it. But I'm certainly not like locked into the NBA. Like I used to watch, like come home on a weeknight and watch an NBA game like that. Like I used to do that. I don't really do that anymore. But I do think that there is like drama within an NBA postseason series where like there's kind of like this hatred and this rivalry thing in the NBA playoffs that like you will tune in for those kinds of things. Like baseball, there's not a baseball team in the world that's going to get me into that. Like barring the World Series, like even the Kansas City Royals, like they got to be in the World Series probably for me to like sit down and really significantly watch games at this stage of my life. But that goes for any baseball team. Like it's going to be the World Series is probably the only time I would even just be like, oh, why don't I throw on a baseball game tonight? Like I will still watch NBA games if I got nothing else going on. It doesn't have to be dramatic necessarily, but I think that's what the NBA playoffs are all about, because the regular season is kind of this lull, just, you know, get there. And like, you know, no matter what your seed is, no matter who it is, like if you got a star and you can score and like you can step up in big moments, like you're going to have an opportunity. And that's why like a team like the Knicks is so interesting right now. I think the Knicks are the most interesting thing in the NBA playoffs right now, simply because I don't think, well, they were better. Like they were fun last season. They were better this year. Nobody believed the Knicks were going to be up 2-0 on the Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
But what particular is bringing you in about the Knicks? Because that's a good one. Because I know I'm a psycho. Like I love the NBA. I watch fucking Kings and Blazers. But like, what is it about the Knicks? Because I do, like, especially when this thing goes to New York, there's something about that atmosphere and seeing, is Tracy going to throw up on the floor or what stars are going to be there? What is it in particular about the Knicks?
Because it feels like the Knicks are like kind of like this scrappy team, and like Jalen Brunson, who he's been a great player since he came in the NBA, but you know was traded and was a guy that was like, oh, he's a great player, not a star player, and like he's gone to New York and essentially become a star and become a guy that's like got big fourth quarter moments in the postseason now. Like he's hitting game-winning shots and he's doing everything in the clutch. Like he looks like a legitimate like star player for New York. And there is something to like a place like New York City, the New York Knicks, like this such storied NBA franchise that has been so bad for so long.
Haven't won a title since '72.
Yeah, like it's insane because you if you were like Osita, like just being like a basketball fan from the outside looking in, like you think New York Knicks and you would just assume like, oh yeah, they got to be like one of the biggest teams in the league. They got to be like, they probably won something recently. And it's like, no, they actually haven't. They haven't won anything in 50 years. Like they've been bad for a really, really long time. And they've been so bad that all of a sudden New York City of all places has this basketball team that is kind of like this scrappy underdog in the NBA playoffs. And it's interesting as hell. Like I'm rooting for the Knicks. They're just fun to watch. And now, especially going up against the defending NBA champions and being up 2-0, I'm on board. Like, let's go. I'm rooting for the Knicks the rest of the way.
Yeah, for me, okay, number one, for me to be interested, I need star power or story.
That's how the NBA has lived.
Yeah, I need some big star like killing it and like showing up and fucking killing it for me to be really interested in games. Or I need, yes, like the Knicks. I mean, like ideally, like I have a thing not against the Knicks, but like I do like how all New York comedians specifically, like they love their Knicks, but like their Knicks have let them down for, you know, decades. So I'm kind of looking forward to the Knicks somehow dropping the ball in this series and seeing Michael Shea. You know, I just want to see Michael Shea talk about it. I want to see the boy just be like, yeah, and then they let us down again. And Jon Stewart, yeah, the fucking Knicks. And then, Steve Colbert, the Knicks. You know what I mean? I want to see that. Like, I think it'll be funny as hell. But I mean, yeah, for ideally, like, I need star power or story. I need for me to have like a connection with a game. Like, okay, this may be fair weather, but when I lived in San Antonio, we won a couple of championships. That was probably the most basketball I watched in fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, it was Popovich, Duncan, French guy, and Australian guy. You know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of people there. Kawhi Leonard, I think, was on that team.
Yeah, Tony Parker.
Shows how much I know. Yeah.
Manu Ginobili, the Spaniard.
The Spaniard, yeah. Tall, awkward guy.
But whatever.
Argentina.
Whatever.
Same thing. The Spanish went to South America, colonized and all that stuff, and it became it's all the same language.
Okay, all right.
Go
ahead.
All the same language.
All
whatever.
Right, sure.
Still romance language. We're fine.
Patty Mills is the Australian you're hunting for, but anyway, go ahead. I just wanted.
No, Red Rocket.
Matt Bonner.
Matt Bonner.
Yeah, Matt Bonner.
I'm pretty sure Matt's from Jacksonville.
I don't think Matt Bonner.
No, wait, hold on now. No, chill.
It's like from Jacksonville.
He came. He showed up at the place I worked at because he wanted to see Wolf Mother, and Wolf Mother was from Australia. And I figured, him and Patty Mills showed up. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, he's from Concord, New Hampshire. So that's
There's not many wider places in the world.
I didn't talk to him, dude. I just thought I was like, hey, tall redhead guy must be from Australia.
But no,
cool.
but the level of
Wolf Mother. I
confidence.
like Wolf Mother. Woman, you are woman. You know what I mean?
The level of confidence that you had that you knew where Matt Bonner, what country Matt Bonner was from, more than me. No.
Does Matt Bonner not sound like an Australian name?
No, it sounds like
Matt
somebody
Bonner.
from Concord, New Hampshire.
Bonner. I'm Matt Bonner. Yeah. Crikey,
But what you said, so you had either the emotional connection, which San Antonio, because you were around it, you were there in that city, there was an emotional connection, or as you said, the stars in a story. And I'm guessing the Knicks are fitting into the story. And right now, though, that's why, to me, I wonder how people are taking this. Because when you think of the NBA stars, Osita, and I'm not you, Serda, but Osita, when you think of the NBA stars, what are the names? Like, give me the top 3 to 5 names you think of.
Carmelo Anthony.
Current stars that are.
Sorry.
Carmelo just went into the Hall of Fame. Okay, that means he's been removed for 5 years.
Okay, calm down. You didn't specify. That's like when people are just like, who would you like to have a conversation with? You got to specify live or dead. You didn't specify live or dead. You just said current. You said stars. LeBron James, obviously.
Okay, he's out.
Okay, so that are playing?
No. I'm saying the guys that are. I'm just simply saying he's no longer involved. Like, he's not
Steph
there
Curry.
anymore. Steph he's
Curry.
hurt. He's hurt, so technically he's out.
Joker.
Okay.
Greek freak.
A star. Hold on. And let's be honest. Is Joker a star? Is Joker a star that gets you to the television set?
No. I mean,
you took it alone.
Not for your average fan.
Not for But I do seeing him. I do like seeing him like awkwardly make those shots and shit. I like seeing him like look like a giraffe that just got born.
But that's good. Those 4 you named: LeBron, Steph, Jokic, and then Giannis. Because I know the Giannis thing with the Nigerian connection for you personally.
Yeah, go Nigeria.
So all of them aren't playing right now, except for Joker. He's the only one that is still playing. And I would imagine he's probably the least likely one to draw you in. Does be honest, does Anthony Edwards move the needle for you to come to the TV set yet?
Nah.
Does Jason Tatum move the needle for you to come to the set?
Hell nah. He sucks.
I know what you're doing here.
He's trash, bro.
Does Tyrese Halliburton and his father, do they move the needle for you to get to the table? Donovan Mitchell.
I live in an oil city, but Halliburton, no, I don't really fuck with that.
But that's to me the concern is like there is a fair argument that this is the best basketball, like play on the court basketball games we've seen in the playoffs in a while, but they are not including LeBron moving forward. They're not including Giannis. They're not including Steph for at least a week. And to be honest with you, the Timberwolves could wrap this shit up before he's able to get back. I do wonder if the story of the Knicks, because I'm listening to Serda talk about it, and you a little bit too, Osita, the Knicks somehow, and I didn't put it together, but they feel like they have the Cubs feel to them. Like the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, before they won the championship in 2016, that was the last story they had to where people were checking in for the story. And it feels like, according
kind of like
to
the Red Sox, like
the Red Sox before them in 2004, and then the Cubs. It feels like the Knicks thing is going with it to the point of, like we've talked about it on here, how unexplainable that Jalen Brunson is dominating these series, and at 6'2", 185, dominating this. It feels like the Knicks are that. It almost feels like the Knicks. They need the Knicks, like the league needs the Knicks, because I am wondering if these good games are enough to hang you in. Because that Denver OKC game one was an amazing finish, a great game. I wonder how many people hung in there to watch it. The Celtics and Knicks one is good to watch because of those two cities, I think. Yeah. But I wonder if the good games are enough.
And I think like your average Midwestern American who is like a basketball fan, yeah, probably not watching Oklahoma City and Denver. But New York, Boston, like I feel like they're watching that game on name recognition alone. And then it's like, oh, the Knicks are up 2-0 on the Celtics. Didn't the Celtics win the title last year? And it's like, it's simply brand recognition, name recognition that like your average like middle American household that maybe, watches an NBA game here or there is much more likely to watch it if it's them than it is even a Midwestern team like Oklahoma City, because it's Oklahoma City. Like they just don't watch games like that.
Yeah, I don't. This is going to be an interesting watch to me to see. There's no Luka, there's no LeBron, there's no Giannis. There's like a lot of the known stars. Joel Embiid's crazy ass. A lot of the known stars are not in it, but the games have been amazing, and I wonder if that will get this thing in. I do want to get to this Two America situation I have at my day job. I think we understand what Two Americas mean, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Listeners there, viewers, there's that Black America way of going about things. If you listen to Kings of Comedy, Cedric the Entertainer did his best to try to lay that out for you, the different creeds that folks go by. And then there's a white thinking of things. I'm going through a Two America situation at my job. There's a text line. There's YouTube and Twitch and listeners who go back and forth with us and respond to us. And honest to God, I think this is a Two Americas thing. And one of the things that drives me nuts is someone will text in and talk trash. Will say something to the extent of, for example, hey, Ron, God, you're a damn idiot for saying such and such, this and this and that. Like, you need to go home, or I can't wait till they let your ass go out of here.
Damn, you got my text?
Got your text. Many of you will, but we'll get. That's just an example. Can't wait till they let you go, or blah blah blah. And then I come back and respond. Something like, hey, I have no problem with what I said, and I said enough to back up exactly the facts behind my opinion. And I know you're mad, but right now you ain't gonna get your wish of me being out of here. Some kind of response like that. And then the response would be is from them, and I know they're white. And their response is, oh, God, you're so sensitive. You have such thin skin. I knew I could get your sensitive ass. And I always respond, like my response and thought is, like, what in what world does that make someone sensitive? Like I will always say to them, you just talk trash to me, and I responded by talking trash to you. How do I become?
You're not supposed to take it seriously. You're supposed to be unbothered by it, Ronald.
It's
You're
like
a professional. You're not supposed to take offense to anything that gets said on the text line.
But listen, I'm having fun too. I give them singers back too.
Okay. No, but it's okay for the anonymous people on the text line to say heinous shit to you. It is not okay for you to be rude back to them. They're customers.
But I do, but fellas, and I know Steve is getting pissed because he's having flashbacks of those things, right?
I can smell the sarcasm from here, and I'm like 1,000 miles away.
He's having flashbacks. Like Serda used to be someone I'd have to
people. I'd just like go straight for the jugular. Like,
and I would be like, hey man, chill out, man. Just look at man. Let's just go with jokes. Cause I would go back with jokes, but I legit don't, because I do think, and not all white folks, but I do legit think that there are a lot of, because it always seems to be white guys that think that is thin skin, that it is thick skin. I guess if you don't respond back to somebody talking shit by talking shit back to them, that makes you sensitive. I legit think they see that as that.
Okay, so you're saying the two America situation, right, is white people. I'm doing my thinking face, so don't make fun of me for doing my thinking face. White people.
I'm doing my drinking face.
Okay, have fun from the gallon, from the jug, baby. That's crazy. That's
wild word, he's hitting the gallon.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Let me try to lay it out for you real quick.
Yeah,
my deal is from anything I know, if you talk shit to someone and that person responds with talking shit back or responds back, they're not thin skin or sensitive because they responded back to you. To me, I think it's the absolute opposite. Like they are standing their ground and right there with you because it's a natural response. It seems like from white folks, their theory is, oh, now you responded back. You're so sensitive. Why would you respond back? What do you mean? Why would I like? What is sensitive about this?
I have a few things. Okay. Okay. Black culture, right? We roast, like I'd be like, Ron and his old 4 eyes stroking his little beard over there with his peanut head. You know what I mean? Or square head, actually. It's a square head. It's a very square head. Square head having ass boy, and then you would say, whatever, milk dud, whatever bullshit you're going to come up with. And, and that's the back and forth. But it feels
consistently number 2 at his jobs. Yeah, like something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. We'd roast each other. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like maybe that's like a narcissistic thing for him to get mad at the fact that you responded.
But Osita, seriously, it is. And Serda, I don't know if you have memories. It is it's not just a one person. It is a thing. I am consistently looked at as thin skin or sensitive because I respond back to cats.
I think I think it is legitimately like it is a white thing in a lot of ways. Because I grew up in a predominantly white area of Kansas City, and I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, but I grew up on the Kansas side in a suburb of Kansas City that is very, very white. And like, there's just different ways of like navigating that traffic because they're simply more sensitive. Like everybody thinks like, oh, this is the way you're supposed to be spoken to, or this is the way you're supposed to do this and say that and do that. And all of that stuff is dumb. I totally agree with you guys, because I grew up like kind of floating back and forth, like talk shit to my friends, but then I'd have to go over here and I'd have to be like buttoned up and watch what I say and how I say it to like these kinds of people and things like that. And there is like a sensitivity that is absurd, like, but it's also like in the state of our country right now, it's like actually it explains a lot, like about where we are, like right now, because you can't. We're in a state right now where everybody thinks they can say whatever you want to say, even if when they say it to your face, when you get mad, it's, well, why are you reacting like that? Why are you upset? You're the one that's being unreasonable. I didn't say anything unreasonable. And it's like, what are you talking about?
I fucking hate I hate when I get the... Sorry, you go.
Like we live in a society of people who refuse to like acknowledge and take accountability for things that they do and say now. Like that's just simply what it is. And so that's specifically like that, what Ron is talking about, makes all the sense in the world. It's online, it's comment section count, like culture, like we think we can say disgusting, awful things to you with zero consequence, and then if you actually get upset and offended by it, you're the weak one for responding to it.
Yeah, it's like if I were to call Ron a blockhead ass boy right now, and then like what I would want him to respond, like I feel like if I said he has a Lego head, like it would just it'd feel weird if he didn't say anything back. But
the theory for them is like you're strong if you don't say anything back. Like we'll get to.
I think that has to do with I mean, like Serda was talking about it, like internet culture. Internet culture, if you put something out there, if you put any sort of art out there, you are expected now to not read the comments, because the comments are going to be rude, salacious, ridiculous things that no one would ever actually say to you. And I think now people have gotten used to, especially since you're saying it's a text line thing, they're like, oh yeah, I can act the same way I do on YouTube comments via this text thing. Like I have legitimately texted you when I thought you were in the studio wearing a fucking scarf, and I was like, why is he wearing a scarf in Houston, Texas? And I immediately got on the text line. I was just like, I'm gonna get this boy. I'm gonna fire him up right now. You know what I mean? And then I realized that you were actually in Kansas City at the time, and so there was no point in me doing that. And the scarf was actually necessary, although you were indoors. So I mean, that's that's debatable. But
cold studio, baby.
It's a cold studio, yeah. So, but people, I think people take that same type of energy. They're like, well, this is pretty much like the comments. So why is he going to respond to my comment right now? I think a part of it is that they're even surprised. You know how it is. They're surprised that you're giving them that time of day on air, live on air, on the radio. They're surprised that their comments actually getting read out loud, and they're just like, I got him.
It's like, it's to me like another example that I see a lot is like Russell Westbrook will like, and not just Russell Westbrook, but athletes at games, they're just fans are talking big shit to them. And then the guys that respond, oh, they're thin-skinned. Like that is a normal thing to me. Like when a guy yells and cusses out Russ or somebody on their way out, and then Russ stops and turns around and says something, I don't think he's thin-skinned. But I think he gets pushed as thin-skinned or sensitive, which I think is real. Like, no, what the hell? What the hell you say to me? Now I'm gonna say something back to you. It is a wild thought of things. Again, it's not all white people, right? But it does seem like a lot of white folks when I say it's not all white folks, I feel like it is all white folks who come to the party and with the thought of you're sensitive if you respond like that. I don't think all white people have that thought process. Right? Like I don't think the guys that I work with, Tyler and Clint, I don't think I know when I talk shit back to them and they talk shit to me, they don't view me as sensitive. But there's some other people on the text line in the audience. God, that dude's sensitive. No, just talking shit back, right? That's what it is. You're muted, big fella.
Sorry, guys. I said maybe it just feels like they got a rise out of you. You know what I mean? Like they feel like, oh shit, like I got him, got your ass. Like,
well, hell, say that. Got you,
bitch.
But not. Oh, you're so sensitive. I knew. Like one dude the other day said, I knew I was going. I responded back to him, said, I knew I was going to get something from your sensitive ass. I said, who's sensitive? like I'm not going home and getting into bed and crying over this.
But like generally, especially with the comments and texters and things like that, like generally it's just people that are desperately looking for acknowledgement. Like it's not even, but then it's like it's a way of like you commenting back and saying something and like validating them in some way. It's like that. It's exactly that. It's just like you validated them by showing to them and proving to them that they got under your skin. And so then they can be like, oh, see, you're just sensitive because
I just don't know.
On the text line and you got to respond to me. And it's like, nah, man, you're the grown ass man who's sending 25 texts to a radio text line every day. Like,
I just wonder how that equates in their minds of, hey, I got under his skin because he responded. Like I like that's where I think the two American things.
The send text line. I'm not gonna be honest.
I think that's where the two American things.
I works there. I would text it sometimes just to push people's buttons.
Yeah, you would. I remember. Like that's the part where the two Americans things gets there. I don't like if you respond to me. I don't get the sense of got him. I get the sense of he's responding back. Or like it's a weird thing to me. Heat check.
All right, guys. Well, for today's heat check, I wanted to talk about something we kind of talked about last week, the conclave, the voting of the new leader of the Catholic Church. We found out today that Pope Leo the 24th is going to be the next Pope of the world. He's the Pope. We got the Pope Leo from Illinois, baby, from Chi-Town.
I think he should cameo on the bear.
Right? Can we get a quick USA? USA. 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 USA.
South. All right. He's a Cubs fan too, as a side note.
So he's the first American, obviously, but there's also a couple of firsts that I can assume because he's from Chicago, especially south side of Chicago. He's definitely the first Pope to wear Jordans. I feel like instead of his slippers, he's definitely going to have some like a pair of retro ones under there. He's definitely the first Pope to know who Chief Keef is. Definitely the first Pope to ever go through a self-checkout line. And I feel like he should start ending his sermons with "Duh, Bears," right? Trying to tell jokes via this is fucking hard, dude. Fucking hard.
Hey, we got it.
That was pretty good.
That's certain.
Like you should have really like. I feel like you should have written out like the whole line and like really.
Yeah.
He said, "Duh, Bears."
Hit the hymn a little bit more, but
fuck both of y'all. Anyway, just go ahead and change the the blood of Christ to Malort while we're at it. Change the body of Christ to a deep dish pizza. Go Sox. We don't know which Sox we're talking about. It could be the Red Sox or the White Sox. Probably the White Sox, but the Red Sox are just.
But he's from the South Side, and they've already said he's a Cubs fan. He's from the South Side.
He's a Cubs fan. Oh shit, my bad.
He's a Cubs fan. The South Side's the White Sox.
Who knows, man?
I bet.
Also, how they? I want to know how they came up with it because his real name's not Leo, right? Like his real name is something.
No, well, they get different names and they become.
Yeah, he becomes Leo the 14th. What is his name?
I don't know. Leo the 24th.
I saw it.
I've watched Conclave. I don't know how they picked the Pope names.
Is it Robert? What's his name?
I think it is, right? Robert.
I think I saw that. I've seen
Robert
that.
Francis.
Yeah.
Robert Francis. I like that.
Yeah.
Strong
Pope
name.
Francis. He got. I'll be
I
honest
guess it
with
could
you.
be Pope Francis.
What's the age of
For
him?
example.
Because I thought they make
He's
it a little
69.
younger. Yeah, of course he is. Nasty ass.
Hey.
You remember we used to talk about Wade Phillips, the ex-coach of the of a lot of teams.
One of the
Wade
greatest
Phillips,
coordinators of all time.
and also as a side note, a guy who he's got that Barbara Bush syndrome. Like Wade Phillips has looked like he was 69 for like 40 years.
He's looked the same since the 70s.
Barbara Bush looked 71 for 48 years. Like, I mean, when George was the vice president all through the 80s, she looked 71. When George was the president of the United States in the early 90s, she looked 71. And when her son was the president in 2000, she looked old as hell. I know early on, and she was in her 40s, but she looked 71 the whole time.
Honestly, when I think of Barbara Bush, I always think of the Queen of England. Like, they pretty much look the same to me. And I just had to like Google. I had to Google to make sure. Like, I was like, am I tripping? And I Googled. I was like, yep, that's the bitch that looks like fucking the ex-queen.
He's not.
The old queen.
He's not. I can picture both of them in my head.
They got the white hair. They just look like they both don't know where they're at. You know what I mean? They got the rosy pink face. You know, with the blush and shit.
Yeah.
The queen knew where she was at. Barb,
really?
Did she?
Really? Did she?
She did.
Sure about that?
She did. She took. That,
oh no, she knew enough to get mad at the black girl that moved in. I remember that.
Yeah, she took that. She took that thing, man.
She's like, who'd you bring into my goddamn house?
Although I don't know if you followed Meghan Markle much since then. She's kind of a nutcase.
Duh. Can you not see it in the eyes?
I personally believe they drove her to that.
Okay.
Real quick before we get out of here, I just want to let you all know, and I know it's early. I started studio.
You don't like it? I knew you weren't gonna like it. I knew it.
Just the first half of it.
I knew it.
I started.
You just hate art, man. Just
vision.
Yeah.
Hey, first off, Serda, don't hit me with the man. Don't hit me with saying man like that. I know when you
just hate art, man.
Don't hit me with the man. When you start going to a different language. No, I don't hate art. Listen, I watched the first 30 minutes. You know, I've gotten through the part where he's with Martin Scorsese and they're going to name it Kool-Aid and all of that. I'm through that. It's just moving kind of slow for me. And no, I don't, you're right. I don't know if I love it. And I started getting tired, so I couldn't even finish up the first episode. I would rebuke you with you don't like art. I think that's a little.
Because they're talking about the Pope, you got to say rebuke.
Yeah, I prefer you to like in front of Bobby Francis and everybody, or Leo 14th or whatever.
Bobby Francis is wild, sir.
I prefer that you reel off of that.
So
it's just moving a little slow for me.
Okay, so that's interesting because I thought like the pace of it, like out of the gate, was just like so frenetic, like and like over the top. Because it's like I think the best way I saw it described is like it's like this it's almost this like Three Stooges, Tom and Jerry like esque energy throughout the entire thing, where it's like they do a ton of like one shots where they're just following everybody around, trying to do everything in one take as much as possible to try to keep like the pace and the energy moving. And I do think that episode 2 like really, really hits that hard. So I think you'll like episode 2. And the following episodes, too. I haven't watched the episode that came out this week yet, but I'm going to. But it's also like, I also totally get like, I love that show. And this isn't me taking a jab at the art thing again. That was a joke because I know you do like good things, but I do think there is something to the idea that like some people just aren't as interested in Hollywood and like all of that stuff is like other people are. So like for me, it's like, oh, this show's like a gold mine because I know every single reference. I know every director they mention. I know every person they talk about. I've seen every movie that they're talking about, and every one-liner, every throwaway. Like I'm pointing it out to my girlfriend. Like this show was made for me as a person and as an individual.
I could see that.
And so I could totally see like your average person who is not me not picking up on all the things, not necessarily loving it in the same way that I do, because it feels like this is a show that was made specifically to cater to me as an individual.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that. It's like I'm gonna give it another. Like I'm gonna finish the rest of that first episode and see if I'm led.
To fall asleep. Try not to fall asleep, old man.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Well. Listen, I had to bang out the episode of Dateline first, and that was strong, man. Of course,
I had to watch 2020 before
I don't watch
Matlock
20.
came on.
I don't do 2020, and I do watch Matlock. That season finale was something else. The new Matlock, but like tonight, I'll have to check out Elspeth. I got to finish that. This is the season finale of Elspeth.
I watched a little bit of it.
I gotta check that out. But like,
he did it.
I'm sure he did. I know it. The Elspeth is a tough one. The way their setup is, they let you know who did it at the beginning of the episode, and then you follow to see if they figure out who it is.
I thought I was ruining it for you. My bad.
I don't know. The studio, I was excited to see it too. By the way, the bottom rack for Martin Scorsese in his teeth. I couldn't stop staring at it during that entire exchange that he was talking. It was hollow. He was struggling down there. He had a little dirt down there. It was a struggle for him.
Maybe he's got dead teeth. I don't know. He's old. You don't care.
Yeah, he might have dead teeth. I don't know. I've had one.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, old man.
I did. That was not an old man thing. That was a gentleman who maybe didn't have dental insurance and just started chipping away at that back tooth at himself and carved it down a little bit with a knife. Carved it down a little bit.
That is
back before dentistry was like a real thing, right? Like a real practice. It was
my good
wrap a string around and try and pull it out.
My good friend in Tennessee would just introduce people like, "Hey man, this is Ron, man. He goes over to MTSU. He also is a dentist, as he has been working on his back tooth for years. Hey, that bitch was I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a damn shame. When I finally got to Dr. Tim Goodhart, the dentist, that motherfucker was gold, and they had to.
Oh my God!
They had to pull that bitch out. It was dead. It was dead. I'm not proud of that moment. I am not.
Yeah.
I am not proud of that moment.
It's like you want me to say something cool about it. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's bad. That's awful.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not cool.
I didn't go to the dentist for almost like 8 years and didn't have a single cavity.
Y'all nasty.
I did, and I did not go for 8 years. And and I know the disappointing fact of that is the vast majority of that time I had dental insurance.
I did not. That's why I didn't do it.
I just felt like it was going swimmingly. So I just never scheduled one. And finally I went in for a cleaning and oh buddy, did they have to fill some holes in there a little bit. So that wasn't too bad. All right, take us home.
All right. Well, speaking of nasty things like lack of hygiene and not fixing your teeth.
Well, that's two different nasties than what the nasty I'm hoping you're talking about.
Well, I mean, it could be as nasty as you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? It could be pretty nasty. So, when I was in high school, I was making love to a redheaded French girl.